I've heard prayer called a lot of things, described in many ways. It almost makes me paranoid about the words I say, the place I stand or kneel or sit, the volume that I choose. And if I pray the Word of God, which version should I use? A morning or an evening prayer, spontaneous or planned? A spoken or a silent prayer? And should I raise my hand? Should I look up? Should I look down? Or maybe close my eyes? Should I tell God it's me again or let him be surprised? I need a definition. Then I'll probably need a file, because all of those opinions get confusing after a while. A monologue, a dialogue, a little bit of both. An open mouth, an open ear. Should I be taking notes? There's even stuff called prayer-ATIVES, false teaching about prayer. It's great if you don't know the word or if you just don't care. It turns God into Santa Claus and turns you on to greed. The way I spell this kind of prayer is P-R-I-D-E. So let me tell you what I did, and I still like to do. I opened up my Bible and I learned a thing or two. I found that prayer can be defined in many different ways, in what some people did as well as what they had to say. I saw one sitting quietly and waiting on the Lord. But then I saw another pray by pounding on the door. So let's create a dictionary entry under prayer with nouns and verbs, because action words just have to be in there. A window, not a book, so we can watch how people pray. A definition filled with stories. That's what we'll create. Now, prayer is moving on because the Lord told you to go. You're sure of what he said, but as to where, you just don't know. And prayer is holding on when you might feel like hanging up. You don't have anything to lose because you have lost so much. Yet you declare the Lord he gives and also takes away. Then from your knees by faith you whisper, blessed be his name. It's standing blind and broken right between two columns when you cry out, Lord, just one more time, please strengthen me again. It's strolling on the roof instead of fighting in the field and looking where you shouldn't till you find you're looking still. Adultery leads to murder. Then a prophet comes along. He points his finger straight at you and says, you're in the wrong. So you cry out to Yahweh, I confess that I have sinned. Create in me a clean heart and restore your joy again. It's crying in the darkness, trapped inside a big old fish. When God said go to Nineveh, you headed for Tarshish. But then you called upon the Lord while breathing through your mouth. And Yahweh in his mercy told that fish to spit you out. It's opening your window 1, 2, 3 times every day and giving thanks to God when it's against the law to pray. It's asking Christ at church, do you have plans for supper yet? Then praising as he heals your mom-in-law, the family chef. It's when a leader says, oh Lord, I don't deserve for you to come into my house. Just say the word and that will do. Now prayer is tearing up a roof to open up a path, to lift a friend to Jesus as you're lowering a mat. Mark chapter 5, I read about what I call naked prayer. It's risky though, unless you've got a lot of pigs to spare. It started with some demons and a graveyard exile who was clothed and thinking clearly when the Son of God was through. Prayer might involve a moving target's garment, just the hem, and reaching out to touch the one, ignoring all the them. It's walking on the water till you're sinking in the waves, then shouting, Master, rescue me. That's prayer talk for Lord, save. Prayer might look like confession time, faith with a caveat. Lord, I believe I truly do, but sometimes maybe not. And prayer is coming back to speak to Jesus once again, to thank him for his healing and for giving you new skin. He also healed your buddies, those who came to Jesus too, but you're the only leper with a spot of gratitude. It's saying, Lord, if you'd been here, your friend would not have died. Then watching as your brother walks out of his tomb alive. It's crying out, have mercy, Lord, when folks tell you to hush. Their words say you're too blind to see and he's too far to touch. It's wanting to see Jesus, so you go out on a limb. You'd gladly climb a tree if you could catch a glimpse of him. But Jesus sees you first and orders you to hurry down, because he and all his rowdy friends are going to your house. I even read about a prayer between two random men who ended up in seats reserved by others just for them. They found themselves beside, across from one another, and one had a death row conversation with a guilty man. In answer to a 9-word prayer, the Lord said graciously, "Today you'll be in paradise, and you'll be there with me." So now you see just what I saw when looking through the Word. A storied definition filled with nouns and lots of verbs. I wonder if folks watch the way we live from day to day. What would they learn concerning how to and how not to pray?